I got loyalty, got royalty.
No copyrighted, please.
We are back, guys. So Mixed Up Podcast, back with another one. Episode 18. Let's go. It's almost been 4 months, y'all. It's been 3.5 months now.
Yeah.
That all 5 of you been rocking with us.
Don't mind us if we take sips.
Shout out to all you guys out there.
Mom.
Hope you guys had a good week.
Dad.
Hope you guys had a good week out there. I think the week here was all right. Nothing really happened. I didn't do anything. So I don't really have much to report on. Except
You do have stuff to report on.
what happened?
The cricket.
Oh, I'm about to say that.
Oh, yeah, read your mind.
Yeah, see. Showing the thoughts flow, you know what I mean? But yes, we're working on our cricket. We made our first 3 t-shirts actually. So just kind of experimenting. The last one I just made today turned out pretty good. You know, might be one that goes up for sale because it's a good design.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, go to No, I'm joking. I don't have a site yet, but
We should.
coming soon. We're doing a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Podcasts, YouTubes,
How much would
shirts.
How much would you sell a shirt?
I was just talking to Lydia today, actually. And I was saying, okay, I see why shirts are like $25 now. Because, like, buying the vinyl and stuff for it, I'm seeing, like, oh, it's like $17 for the vinyl. And you don't get much vinyl on the roll. So I get it. And I was saying if I sold 3 T-shirts for $25, I figured the first 20 might, recoup the actual vinyl. And then that'd be like, $45 worth of profit off of, 3 T-shirts or something like that. The math I've been in my head just for 3 T-shirts or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I would go 25, 20, maybe 15. It depends. Honestly, it depends on how cheap the materials is to make a particular shirt. Now, if it's a shirt with like a heavy design, like the one that we did today, where it's like, going to take a lot of the vinyl to actually make, that T-shirt might be a little pricier than, say, one T-shirt that just has like, a slogan or something on it, but didn't take much vinyl to make that slogan. So probably price them differently that way. How about you? What do you think?
I mean, because I do see like a lot of like YouTubers. Ooh, ice in your face. A lot of YouTubers that start making merchandise, and it's like $50, $45, and you're like, just for a T-shirt?
Nah, I wouldn't fleece my people like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that. I mean, I get that, but that's wrong. Not wrong, but I wouldn't charge our supporters $50 for a T-shirt. Like,
Yeah.
that's a little much.
I mean, because granted, I'm seeing like how it's being made by watching you do stuff, but at the same time, I'm just like, if they're not making it by hand because they get it from some other company that
Sometimes they just ship it off to like I see Teespring as being like one of them where I think they just kind of submit the design and then that company makes it. So, but in that case though, in the case of like a Teespring maybe, I don't know the workings, but I'm sure Teespring takes some off the top of the sales. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a way for them to actually make, a decent profit off of the shirts and stuff they're selling. I don't know. But for me, if I'm doing it all by hand or whatever, if the labor, I guess the labor cost is kind of a thing as well. But like, let's say if the shirt costs $5, and let's say I put approximately $10 to $11 worth of material on it. That's like $15, $14, $15 right there. So, I guess I would like to make maybe $10, $15 profit off of a shirt, but 50 I think is a little much.
Yeah.
But like I said, if it's through the third person like company or something, or secondhand company or whatever, maybe that's a way for them to recoup their money, because maybe, whatever that company is taking off the top of every shirt, maybe they're taking 20% or something. So maybe that's their way of getting their money. I don't know. Because if you sell a shirt for, $20 and they take 10%, it's like, okay, now I'm only getting, $18 versus the whole 20, which is still a good amount. But you know what I'm saying? So,
because Cause like the only reason I asked, cause like I bought a shirt from like a sweatshirt actually from one of like a YouTuber, and when I received it, like it was definitely not what it said. The description was, is it was like a comfy like sweater, like it fits, like it wasn't supposed to like fit snug, and I bought like a bigger size than what I normally get, and when I got it, I was like, oh, this sweater is like garbage.
Was
like
that tight fitting?
It was like tight fitting. It was actually a lot shorter than what it said it was. I washed it once and it shrunk, and I was just like, and I paid like a good $45 for it. And I was like, never again. Like I don't want to pay like. And sometimes I see like these YouTubers that like they have like cute designs and stuff, but I refuse to pay 50, 35, like dollars for something that I know that I'm gonna get it, and it's like gonna be garbage. So
yeah, you gotta figure out the material that you're selling. Like you gotta know, like you know how I roll. Like when I want to do something, I research it to death, and I make sure that like I know exactly what. Like I damn near know everything about something that I'm doing before I even buy the shit to do it. You know what I mean? Like I know, like
I don't want to cut you off, but
go ahead.
That's has always been
But you cut me off. Though.
I know. I'm sorry. I won't be rude, but no. I do know that that's always been my thing. Where if I ever wanted to start something or like make something, I want to know exactly how the material feels. What are you doing?
Continue.
Oh, like how the material is, like how it fits. Like I want to be able to like work out in it. I want to be able to like do things to that way that we can tell our viewers like, hey, this is actually, I've used it running, walking, like I washed it like how a normal person's gonna wash it. That's I think also another thing that before we like even start selling shirts and stuff, I want to be able to wash them like I would normally wash them, so that way we can tell our audience like, no,
be honest about it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like I want to like whatever it is, I want to, whether the material we're using and stuff like that, I want to be able to include special instructions for every package that we put out. Like, you know, hey, for this one, you need to wash it inside out. Hey, this one suggested wash in cold water. Hey, this one suggested, you know, don't put it in a dryer. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to let them know. So then, like, if something like that does happen where it shrinks or it screws up or whatever, like, hey, you had that, you know,
that warning,
instructions telling you how to properly take care of it. But like you said, just making sure the material holds up, you know, like the shirt that we made the other day, like I already, you know, put it in the laundry to make sure, like, hey, let me see what it's going to look like when it comes out. And that was just print and cut. So print and cut isn't as durable and long lasting as the vinyl is. The vinyl is supposed to, if done properly, supposed to, you know, outlast the garment itself. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Like I said, that's why I was saying I wish we had our own washer and dryer, because I would wash it like every single day just to see how many loads and how many washes, you know, it can sustain itself, you know. But yeah, so I just want to make sure like that everything we do is like up to par.
Yeah, like because I washed your shirt and my shirt that we made like last week or something.
Yeah, it was Tuesday, Wednesday,
yeah.
on Monday.
I washed
Might
it.
have been last Sunday.
I think it was. I think it was like last weekend. I washed the shirt and I washed it inside out, and I didn't separate it. I washed it on hot water. And I dried it in high heat. Oh no, I dried it in medium heat, and
just to see like how I was gonna do.
Yeah, just to see how it does. And I mean, personally, I think your shirt did really well. My shirt was kind of effed up on the edges of
we already effed it up we effed it up beforehand in our experimental phase.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like it lasted. Sorry, I should probably talk this way with the mic. My bad.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know if I'm hearing you through the headphones or if I'm hearing you in person. I don't know.
My bad. Let me do it again.
The whole like first 10 minutes is just. Yeah, I don't know. Just not talking to the mic.
I mean, now that we have like a new setup, I think we can like.
Yeah.
I can fix it now. We can actually like talk.
The mic wherever you want it.
Yeah.
You know, if it stays, my mic be acting stupid.
That must be your mic, because your mic always acts dumb.
Yeah, never like I can put it this way to just it just doesn't stay put. Drives me crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was like, I wanted to make sure that we washed it and.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited about it though. Like I'm excited to you know, make some original stuff. You know, like that's like something that I like. I know I'm gonna keep messing with it. You know, I'm just gonna do like this, so when it curves, it's just right in front of my face anyway. There we go. So yeah, just excited about the stuff they've been doing with the anime channel, the merch, all that kind of stuff. Oh, remember this weekend we're supposed to be coming up with our plan.
Yeah.
So we can do that when we're done, or
Yeah.
we can do it tomorrow, whatever.
Let's do it when we're done, because I know that tomorrow we got your mom's coming over, and then you're recording a pod.
Yeah, with
Oh
Brandon.
yeah, we should done with that.
Yeah, I'm coming with a pod with I don't know if I call him my brother-in-law. Well, he's engaged to my sister, so close enough.
Close enough. Soon to be brother-in-law.
Right. So Randon, guy named Randon, we're gonna be doing a podcast, anime. Me and my baby Margarita is gonna be doing a podcast as well about anime. Margarita's over here drinking sangria and showing a face of disgust with every sip she tastes, and I keep telling her stop drinking it.
Okay, guys. So I mean, you should probably know by now, but I don't drink. I had my like phase of drinking like when I was like 20. I think like my first drink was like 22, 23 maybe, and I had my little like drunk and get wild phase for a couple months, and I just don't like the taste of alcohol. I didn't like the taste of alcohol then, but I was trying to fit in with the group of girls that I was hanging out with, and I don't like it now. But I was like, oh, let me be an adult, because now I'm 27. Maybe my taste buds change, because apparently they said the taste buds can change after a while. Nah, I still don't like alcohol. I'm like trying to, because this sangria, it has like a sweet taste. It tastes like a sour candy. So I'm like, oh, maybe I can drink a little bit. I take like 3 sips and I'm like, woohoo! It is not good. But I'm gonna keep trying.
She poured like a half a glass and still has a half a glass.
Actually, no. I remember I had I had the ice on it, so the ice melting, so the ice is like making it even more watery down. So watery down, is that even a thing? No, more watered down.
So it's watered down and she still can't drink it. So
I'm trying, guys.
Anyway,
I'm take a big gulp right now.
She's lying. I'm gonna let you know if she did or not.
Tell him I'm lying.
It wasn't big, but she did take more than she has been drinking. But yeah, now she's dying slowly. I wish we were still recording this because it would be funny. But yeah,
we don't record. Remember why we don't record?
Because nobody watches it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're about to get back on our grind, YouTube grind. We have a big list of things we want to do and ideas, and so we're about to get back on all of it with the anime YouTube, with the So Mixed Up YouTube.
Oh, tell them about the Sorry, this popped up the merchandise thingy about gig. I don't know, the lady that emailed you about your YouTube stuff.
Oh yeah. Some like link she sent me or whatever. I'm supposed to like, advertise the site, and
my mom was like, make sure it's not a scam. Read every single thing
and get like a kickback from people that click on the link and actually buy some merchandise. So that should be cool if I could ever dedicate myself to sit down and record some shit, because I haven't done so in a while. I need to just do it. I'll be lazy sometimes.
Well, now that you don't have your second job, we can make a list.
Yeah, I quit that shit, y'all. I don't know if I even told y'all I was doing that.
Yeah, you didn't tell them.
Did it for a couple of weeks. It was so freaking boring, and I'm like too sleepy to be that bored, because I have to, I'm only getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep max, and then waking up doing that. I don't know if I was getting 4 hours. I was going to sleep like 5, 6, and then waking up at 10, and yeah, it was just it was too boring for me to stay dedicated to like sit there for 5 hours and make phone calls. It was terrible.
I'm gonna quote your words. It's draining my life away.
It was. It was just because, like, if it was reversed, if people called me, I think it would be a lot better, because then I can kind of do what I want to do, or be on my phone or do whatever until I get a call. But the fact that I have to just keep constantly phone call, like, it was terrible. And then work has just been too stressful anyway. So it's like I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quit that. So yeah, I do have a little bit more time. So I'm gonna try to record every day if I can. What?
No, I'm just saying.
Let it record every day.
Yeah.
It's not bad, especially if it's just me watching
That's
a
true.
show or whatever. Like, it's not nothing too draining or crazy about it. But yeah, so that'd be interesting. Try to get a little kickback from that. Try to get a little money here and there. My aunt has me doing a project with her.
I forgot about all that.
I'm gonna be like a little, kind of like a quote unquote news reporter for her little company on YouTube. She wants me to record like news segments once a week or something like that. That sounds interesting. So yeah, we'll see. It's a lot of ventures. Anything to try to get me from doing a regular 9 to 5. Trying to put my hands in a little bit of everything. Um, but yeah, I'm really super duper duper excited about me and Margarita's podcast slash YouTube channel coming up. I'm excited about getting back into these so mixed up. She filmed a vlog today. That'll probably be going up this week sometime, hopefully. And yeah, getting back into the swing of things.
I might do that when you and Randon are recording. Get that most of it filmed.
Yeah,
I
that'd
just
be
need
dope.
you to show me how to do some stuff. Okay, so I know how to do like video editing stuff, but now with the new system, like I used to use it's called like Microsoft Video Maker. I think is what it was called. I can't remember. It was back in the day. Now they don't have it. But like I knew that one like back in my hand. Like I knew how to cut stuff, how to like put effects on it. So now we're using this Adobe one, and I have no idea how to use it, and it stresses me out because then I'm like I easily get frustrated when I'm doing stuff, and I really I enjoy like editing videos, but I get so frustrated when something goes. I'm like, F the computer, I'm gonna throw it out the window. So
Nah, it's true. I've seen it.
yeah, he's seen it. He's seen me get like really.
I'm like, all you had to do was ask me. She said, no, I wanted to do it by myself. I wanted to show myself that I can do it. I'm like, but don't be frustrated. Or just Google it. That's how I learned to do everything on Adobe Pro. I just Google it. Hey, how do I trim this? Or hey, how do I
I know.
add
I
this?
just like
How do I do that?
that's just so hard for me to do that because I can't sit there and listen to somebody. I'm like, all right, bro, like I can't do it. I figured it out myself.
Yeah,
So
I learned to do everything. Like whether it's Audition, which I still don't really know how to use. I know just enough to get this podcast uploaded. So I got the whole Adobe suite. So I got Photoshop, which I don't really know how to use that well.
which we won't need. I'm just kidding.
um, Illustrate, all that good Adobe stuff that I don't know how to use. But maybe I'll have to use it in the future, especially maybe if we're doing like designing our own stuff. Maybe I have to open up Illustrate every once in a while. I don't know. Might be something that I try to teach myself coming up here in the future with designing our own merch and doing that type of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm always down for learning something new. I mean, it's hard enough trying to learn this damn Cricut design space. So yeah, I can only feel so much in my brain at once. So we'll see. I be trying to learn this Cricut design space. So I'm like, oh my god! Like I was making that shirt last night. I messed up so many times, but now I finally got like just to remember what side of the vinyl to cut on was freaking ridiculous because the glitter one was reverse of the regular vinyl, and I was just screwing up all over the place. And then I had to cut 2 different layers, but for some reason it wants to cut layer 2 before layer 1. I just assumed it would go in order, so I put the certain color that I wanted number 1 to be, and then it cut out number 2 instead, and it was bad. So thinking I was gonna be like, oh yeah, this will probably take maybe an hour because I had already freaking designed it earlier in the day. All I had to do was come in here and figure out how to cut it out, and that literally took like 4 hours to like freaking. And I still didn't even get it all the way done because I messed up so much that I ran out of the freaking material. So I had to wake up this morning and go to Michael's to get more. So yeah, that was fun.
yeah, I was at work at 6:30.
Yeah, she picked up a 6:30 shift.
Yeah.
How was that? Fun?
It's definitely different. I think for me, it was like you saw like the people who got up at 6:30 in the morning to order food, which is like ridiculous. I'm like, just go to bed. Like, why are you up?
Why are you up?
Like, it's 6:30 in the morning, but they were adamant. Like, oh, I'm up at 6:30. I want to get some pancakes and this, and I'm like, bruh, it's 6:30. Like, chill out. And then like when it got closer to like 10, 11, that's when I started to pick up again. It was like the lunch
rush, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god. So, cause I'm used to just doing when the weekends I normally work, I do the dinner rush.
Mm-hmm.
So I get like the little late lunches to like dinner, and then like the late snackers. So it was different. I mean, I wouldn't mind like the weekends that I work be going in at 6:30, because I get to leave at 3.
Get it in, get it over with.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind switching my weekends, but I feel like they would have to have a closer, and I feel like they wouldn't allow me to do that because I'm a closer.
Yeah, that'd be kind of dope if you switched, and then by time especially Saturday, by time you getting off and coming home, I'd be like just getting up for real.
Yeah,
so.
Especially because you work Friday, so by the time Saturday is, you'll be like getting up. But I'll see. I'll ask and see like if it's possible for me to. I mean, I will lose money, I think, like the shift diff, but for me, I'm like,
But at the end of the day, yeah, you probably you're a little used to the money that you're making right now, but compared to what you was making in the kitchen, it's still an extra 10, 11 hours or so than what you were getting. I don't know what the shift diff it might average out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't mind, but at the same time, I just like I need some my insanity is just like I'm over it. I think I'm just over the whole kitchen in general. Like that just drains me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I told you, like I gotta just stick with it just a little bit longer because I graduate, and it's like I'm at the point in my life where it's like hard for me to move from a spot right now because everything that I'm doing aligns with my schedule that I'm doing now, like where I work. So it sucks because I want to do so much stuff and I want to do things that's going to better my life better. But at the same time, it's just like I'm in a pickle where I can't really move a job because the schedule that I am now fits where my schedule stuff is. So yeah, it's a little
only a couple more months and then you're graduated. Then all those problems are over. You can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
Nope. I was gonna say, didn't something happen a couple days ago?
What happened?
Come on, I'm trying to do these easy transitions, and you be screwing them up. I be trying, y'all.
I don't be screwing up. You just gotta like.
Didn't something happen a couple of days ago? And you're like, oh, what happened?
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that happened a couple of days ago.
Not really.
Yeah, I had a meltdown, and then. Oh. Yeah.
Look, so she said that a couple things, and then she goes right to the thing that I'm talking about. She's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right."
Yeah. I'm not gonna put her business on blast, but the topic that I kind of wanted to bring up was what did I say, babe? What was the word I was using?
I don't even remember.
Hold on, give me a second. What was the word I was using? I won't say oppression, but that's not the right word. What is the word? It'll come to me. Think of something. Talk about something else so I can think about it. Stall from me, babe.
Give me a hint.
I think we'll start with the O. It's not oppression. It was
Well, just keep talking and you'll come to it because I don't have anything else to say. So outside of this story, we have nothing left.
I know. I'm like, stall, babe, stall.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my girl. I like to sing about the moon and the June and the springer. I like to sing about the sky or blue or a thing or two.
Guilt. That was the word.
I love you. I love you.
Did not start with an O. It started with a G.
I didn't think it started with an O, but I had nothing to combat with, so I was just like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, guilt. Yeah, I think that's where my conversation wants to go. Is like guilt. What is guilt? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, are you asking me?
No, I mean, and I'm trying to do this in a way where I'm not putting her business out on blast, but
no one's even gonna know what you're talking about. Just be like, someone da-da-da-da-da, like, you're not putting anyone's business out there.
I know, but it's hard.
Want me to just do it?
Yeah.
So, she was at work and somebody found out that their ex that they just broke up with last week killed themselves, and the person had just found out. So,
yeah.
Boom, go.
Keep going.
I can't tell you your feelings. I don't have nothing else to say. That was it. That's what happened.
Yes, that's what happened. But my topic is on guilt. I think for me, this person in particular feels or felt a lot of guilt. And my thing is like, I think it's like, what I'm trying to say? At one point, like, when do you stop feeling the guilt? And it's funny because you like y'all don't see what he gives me look like y'all. You ain't giving me much of information.
I was gonna make a joke, but it's not a joke in time. So.
Oh, what were you gonna say, babe?
Not gonna do it, babe. It's a time and a place. It's a time and a place.
So, you never had time and a place.
I'm trying to be mature.
Oh, I was like, babe, come on now.
Like, I'm gonna say it now.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like, when is there a time to not feel to not feel the guilt. I go say when they're dead.
I don't stop. um, because in my point of view, I think that he killed himself just to give her more guilt. Because this person wasn't treating this person correctly. It is what I was hearing, and I think everybody has their own right and their own place to feel how they feel. I just don't feel that it's like correct to give that person that guilt. Because I also had people that I've known that would put you in a spot where they would tell you something and then you get kind of fed up and you're like, I'm done, I'm over this, like I don't want to deal with it anymore. But then they keep putting you back in because they'll say something and you're just like, crap, like I gotta go back to this person because I feel guilty and I don't want nothing to happen to them. So I guess from my point of view is like, when do you stop just being like, all right, like screw it, like not like screw it, I don't care about you anymore, but like screw it, I'm done letting you put me in that guilt.
You just gotta, I don't know, it's a person by person basis. You gotta just be able to realize that you're in a situation that you aren't happy in, and you gotta be like, all right, I'm done. I'm not gonna keep being in this situation. Like, people be feeling like it's selfish or some shit to like leave somebody because you're not happy. It's like, no, if you're not happy, dip. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, there's no rule or law that says you had to be unhappy or in an unhappy situation.
All right, I'm gonna play the devil's what is the word, baby?
Advocate.
There we go, advocate. Because you'll have some people that be like, well, you just don't understand how much like we're in love. Like you don't understand how much that we actually care for each other.
And they're sick too.
Yeah, and that's for me because of my past. I kind of have done where I was like, I've done both sides. I've done where like, well, no, like they're just, they're this kind of person. They'll be fine. And then I have other situations where I'm just like, I'm done. Like I'm over it. Like I don't care anymore. And then people would just be looking at me like, oh, well, you're just, you don't care. You're being selfish. So it's like they kind of put you back in the spot of feeling guilty again. And I just think that it's like one of those cycles where at one point do you just really, really stop caring? Because I've done it to a point where I stopped caring for somebody and then next thing I know, they're just hurting me. And then I feel like garbage.
Well, that just means that you didn't stop caring. If you still are emotionally attached enough to let whatever they're doing or saying hurt you, then you really didn't stop caring and you didn't let go.
That's true. But I guess because that, like you said, it's, by people's, like, each person is their own. So I feel like it's kind of a sticky situation because you can't really tell a person to be like, well, get over it. Or, like, because I've done that. I've done it with somebody, a friend of mine, where she was dating a guy for a couple months and they broke up and she kept like bringing it up at work. And it was at one point, like I will tell you, like if I'm sick and like actual sick, like not like mentally sick, but like if I'm sick, I kind of like don't have a filter. I just say it out loud and whatever. And I was like, it was one day I stayed at work with her. It was like really late. And like they had me like cleaning random things and she had brought it up and I was like, look, the person broke up with you, get over it. And she like was so hurt by it. And she's just like, well, gosh, like, she's like, you're mean. Like, he's like, I was just like saying something. And I was just like, well, look, honestly, I'm like, he broke up with you, just get over it. And every single time that we would hang out, she'll like bring that up again. So for me, like, I'm like, look, at that point, like, I can't take back what I said. I said it. But at the same time, I'm like, I got tired of hearing her bring it up over and over again. I'm like, look, obviously the guy didn't want you. He, whatever you had with him wasn't the same for him. And, like, get over it kind of thing. So, but I guess she was like telling me more about it. Like, she was like, "Oh no, like we actually loved each other and all this stuff." And I'm just like, okay, I mean, that might be true, but in my eyes, I just kept seeing it as like, obviously the guy didn't want you because he was going off to college, you weren't. He was gonna do the college life, so that's why he broke up with you. So, but I think I realized that it was probably messed up, but at the same time, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done hearing this over and over again. Like, you kept bringing it up, like, oh, I wish, this is. I'm like, dude, he broke up with you. Get over it. Find somebody else. So,
I think to play devil's advocate,
yeah.
as you, if that's your friend, then you have to tell her before it gets to that point of you being irritated and just blurting it out. Oh, he broke up with you. Oh, well, get over it. Like, you got to tell them up to the point of that. It's like, hey, talk to them and be like, hey, maybe it's time to move on, or just have those conversations with them to be like, what is it about him that you miss, or da 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 da, or well, why did you guys break up? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Just have that conversation, and then you could tell her, during that conversation, like, well, hey, you guys aren't together anymore, so maybe it's time that you try to move on and try to find happiness somewhere else, and blah blah blah. Blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it was a time where we weren't really like talking. Like, she would say stuff and mention stuff, and then like I would ask her questions, but she would kind of like dodge my questions that I was giving her. So at that point, I was just like, I was annoyed because every time we would hang out and she would try to get a deep conversation, it would be the exact same thing over and over again. And I was just like, all right, like, y'all have been broken up a couple months now. Like, let's try to move on. But at that point, I was annoyed. I was like, you know what? I wasn't annoyed at her. I was just annoyed with what was going on prior for me talking to her. And yes, it was wrong for me to get like frustrated, but I was just like, I was in that mood where I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with this work. This job pissed me off. And she kept talking up, and I was like, why are we talking about this again? Like, get over it. So, yeah. So, guilt. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, the way that I saw her react at work, it did put me in a kind of like a funk, because I have been in kind of both of those shoes. I've been in a place where I felt a lot of guilt and I felt trapped. And I've also been in a place where I just felt very lonely and I had nobody. So for me, seeing that both sides of myself in this situation kind of triggered me a little bit. And I just didn't know how to help her, because I didn't want to be super aggressive with her and make her feel like shit. But I also didn't want her to feel like shit because this person treated her not well. And that's what people were telling me about this person, their situation. And I think that all the stories I was hear, like, from this particular person and how they were talking and all that stuff, I just felt like this particular person, no, I don't think they should have took their life, but I also feel like they should not have put in that guilt on that person. That's my view on that. I just felt, yeah, like it triggered me. It triggered me a lot, and it made me feel like it put me in a spot like, damn, like, what can I say? Because I've been in both of those situations, and it was hard for me to be like, to be supportive, knowing that I've been in a situation where I felt very lonely, and I could see that other person's view. And it just like really sucked, because I was just like in a spot where I was like, how do I give advice, or not even advice, like, how do I bring this person off the ledge a little bit so that way they're really aren't going to do anything crazy? Like, how do you give supporting words or supporting anything in general for this particular person when you've been in both sides?
Where you gotta take a page out of your book? Be like, all right, I'm on joke.
What?
I was gonna make another joke.
Oh.
I mean, you gotta tell them like, hey, it's not your fault that this person killed themselves. Like, it's nobody's fault for someone taking their own life. It's like you can't feel guilty about it. Like, y'all broke up. He wasn't treating you right, so y'all broke up. Now, if that's all it takes for him to kill himself, like I told you a couple days ago, like you can't have it both ways. You can't, say, "Hey, I'm lonely, and feel that loneliness or sadness enough to take your life, but then when that person's in your life, you're treating them like shit. You can't have it both ways. So it's like, at that point, it's just like, well, you needed more help that I can give you. So, like, yeah, you're going to feel bad about it because anybody you know that kills themselves or anybody that you know that dies, you're like, oh, shit, that sucks. You know what I mean? So you're going to feel bad about it regardless. But you can't, like, blame yourself for it.
Yeah, it just like it was hitting me because she kept saying like, what if he just talked to me? Like, what if we just had spoken or something? And I'm just like, I've seen myself be in that situation too. Like, what if I just did this or what if I just did that? And it was hard for me to be just telling her like, hey, don't do the what if because. Like when I was talking, I didn't want to be like, you really can't stop somebody if they have that already in their mind.
Well, it reminds me of, okay, there's this guy. He's, famous or whatever. He's an artist. He killed himself maybe a week ago or so. And Tech Nine was, he knew Tech Nine. They went on tour together, And Tech was posting like, or he, shared like some screen capture. I don't know if it was text or like through DMs or whatever, but the guy was like, hey, when you get a free chance, call me. And, Tech was like, I'm busy shooting music videos. I'll hit you when I'm done. And then the guy hit him again, like, maybe some hours later or whatever. Like, hey, you free now? And he was just like, yeah, it was a crazy night. I'm I hit you with him, and then he hit him again and said, and this was probably like, let's say if he killed himself, on the July 15th or something. This was from like June 29th or so. And he hit him again and was like, hey, you free? Can you call me now or whatever? He was like, I'm rushing to the gym right now. I hit you with, and he was just saying like, hey, maybe if I would have just took that call and not been so busy and been able to take his call, maybe he really needed me and, I wasn't there or whatever. But it's like, yeah, you can think that, but it's like at a certain point, you can't burden yourself with feeling like, am I the only reason? Not you personally, but like you can't think that, hey, if I would have answered that call, maybe he wouldn't have killed himself. And maybe he wouldn't have. But it's not your responsibility to be that lifeline for somebody. Like, it's unfair for anybody else to be like for you, instance, like, what if you said, oh, if we ever break up, I'm going to kill myself or some shit like that. I'm like, I can't be your lifeline I can't be your lifeline. Like I always told you, you got to make yourself happy. I'm not responsible for your happiness. Just like in her case, he's not responsible for her happiness. So if she's unhappy, then you have to leave any situation that you're unhappy with. So just like that, I can't be your lifeline.
And before y'all get all hissy pissy, because I know people are gonna be like, "What?" I mean, whoever watches it, be like, "You're supposed to make her happy." No, like there's a difference between making somebody happy and being somebody's like
reason
happiness.
For being happy. Like I can't be that. That's not my responsibility. It is not my responsibility to keep you alive. Like I can't be your reason for living.
Yeah.
Like that's unfair to me to be like, I'm your reason for living. So if she was his reason for living, that's not her responsibility, and it's unfair to make that her responsibility. Like you got to go either get help or find happiness in something else or whatever you need to do. But it's not my responsibility to make you happy or to keep you alive. Only people that are responsible for keeping people alive are parents to kids. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Once you're grown, no one's responsible for keeping you alive. So that's my thoughts.
We're like, dang.
Damn.
I mean, no, like what my baby's like saying, like at a point where like I do agree with him, like you can't be somebody's only reason to be happy. Like, you can make them happy. Like, there's a difference between making somebody happy, but you can't be the reason why you're alive. Like, they're the only reason why you stay alive, if that makes sense. And I think that a lot of people kind of get that confused sometimes because they'd be like, well, he just makes me so happy and he's my everything and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, but do you know the difference between the two?
Right. Like, is he your everything or is he your everything? Like, is he your only reason for living? Yeah, I can make you unhappy, but I'm not responsible for making you happy. Like, if you're unhappy, then it's your responsibility to get out of that unhappy situation. But it's not, my responsibility for your happiness. Like, you got to find happiness in other things and other people and other situations. Like, you can't, like, live your life hoping, for that one person to be your everything and your reason for living and all of that. It's like, no, like, no offense, but if we were to break up, I'm not gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna, you're my only reason for living. Like, no, I got a lot of things to live for. At least I hope I do. I think I do. You know what I'm
Like, I
saying?
hope
So
you
it's
do.
like, I'm not gonna, like, you're not my reason for living. I mean, I lived 26 years before I met you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
27.
26. I'm going 26.
When did
I met you in 2018. I was 26.
Oh, really? Dang. I was 25?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I just feel really old.
I'm like, no, I was 26.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I lived 26 years without you. So it's like, just because you meet someone, they can't just all of a sudden be like, you're everything.
That's another thing it brings up is like, speaking about like relationships and stuff. I know we're getting into topics that are kind of like deep, but that's what I want our podcast to go to. The so mixed up one is just because we have different views on different topics, and we just kind of want to express them to you guys, whoever listens to us. But that's another thing, like, when you find, like, at least what I've learned in the few people that I've tried to have a thing with, I've learned that you want to find somebody that brings out the good in you. And you don't want to just, but what I mean by that is, like, you want to find somebody that, like, has goals. And it's like, it sounds like cliche, but you want to find somebody that you're not the only one doing stuff. You want to find somebody that's either A, willing to do stuff, or B, is on their path. Like, you guys can have separate paths. Like, we have separate paths sometimes, and it's okay. Like, we know that we're gonna do different things, and sometimes we're not gonna be on the same path, which is fine. But at the same time, we both are kind of also in a path where we're just like, we can agree on things like our health wise, our finances, each other. Like, we were both in the same, like, yeah, we want this and this is what we want together. But then we also have like our own personal goals, which is what you want in a relationship. You want to be able to, what I'm trying to say, babe.
I don't know. I think saying, like, not everything has to be togetherness.
Yeah.
Like, you can live separate lives and still be together. Like, everything isn't a singular movement. Like, I can do things without her and she can do things without me. Like, she's in school. She wants to be don't tell me. School. I don't know what you want to do, honestly. Sometimes you say you want to get into like sports psychology, and sometimes it's counseling. So either one of those,
Well,
right?
okay. So it's originally I did want to do sports psychology because they paid better.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have always been a type of person that I wanted to help at least one person to not hurt themselves. Being that I was abused as a child and seeing abusive things, I wanted to be able to help a child not go through what I went through. So I've always been in that realm of I want to help at least a person. And so now with working in a hospital, the stuff that they have that I kind of want to do is a behavioral specialist. That or child life, but more for behavioral specialists. Just I want to be able to not only like see what's out there, but also be able to make a difference and be able to just, I feel like a lot of people nowadays, like, I feel like everybody always be like, oh, I have a mental issue or I have a mental illness. And this, I feel like they just nitpick of everything because there's like a kind of a trend to jump on, like, no, I suffer from this. And reality, they really don't. And that's one thing I want to be able to kind of show light for others people is that like that's actual a thing. Like people are out here are suffering, but they're not suffering in a way that it looks like they're suffering. Like I have my good friend that she has some type of bipolar disorder, but when you see her, you're like, no, like she doesn't have that. I'm like, no, like she just shows signs in a different way that it's not a typical bipolar. And I feel
like not Kanye West.
Yeah, not Kanye West.
Okay.
We ain't doing. He's on a whole nother level. But yeah, like I want to be able to show light and showcase. Like not, I mean, showcase is not the right word I want to use.
Showcase.
Oh yeah, that's it. Whatever. Showcase. But like I don't want to use it because I don't want to be like, oh, you're just trying to whatever exploit people. But no, like I want to be able to have kids, learn and know like, hey, like this might be a sign that they might have this, or hey, like this person is going the exact same thing that I'm going through and they understand the exact same I'm going through. Like being able to pinpoint like certain triggers and certain things that not many people think is like the common, like, oh, he got blacked out drunk, or he's aggressive when he drinks, or like I want to be like, okay, why is he drinking? What is triggering him to drink? Like that's what I want to do. I want to be able to go into deeper than just like the typical, a typical thing. I want to be deeper like, okay, so when this happens, this triggers this point and this trigger gets this point, and together this is what makes this person go this way. And that's what I've always, I want to say enjoy, but that's always something what I always love to learn is like trying to figure out people's trigger points and being able to figure out, okay, how far can a person go before they go apeshit? And that's what go ahead, babe. Oh, you were going to say something because you got next to the mic. But that's what I want to know. I want to know what's like, what is it? What gets them to that point? And what can we do without always like, I don't want kids to be medicated so young because it does affect them when they get older. Because either the medication stops working for them, or they had to get stronger medicines and medicine and medication. I don't want them to have to take medication. I'd rather have them have different outlets. I can't even talk right now. Different like options and different things for them to explore without having to be like, here's medicine and take this medication. If not, you're gonna do some crazy. Like I don't want kids, especially young kids, to be on medication because it's like they're young. Like they shouldn't have to be doped up on drugs. I feel like there's so many different things, but I also feel like, I feel like that's the parents. Like I feel like nowadays a lot of parents are always like working, especially both parents now. I feel like both parents are working. Not a lot of kids are like being taught over the social media, on YouTube, on television. Like that's what kids are learning from. And I just feel like parents are also kind of losing touch of their kids, and they're not realizing, hey, kids are dying, they're committing suicide, they're doing drugs, they're doing so many things that parents just think like, oh no, my kid's fine, he's playing sports or he's on the football team, not knowing that he's not really on the football team. He's out there
shooting crack in the alley.
that out there like doing harm to himself. I just feel like a lot of parents are starting to lose touch of their kids, and I feel like that's honestly that's the root of a lot of situation is that parents are not there as they used to be. I talked a long time. That your turn, babe.
So you're going into behavioral studies, huh?
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else.
Wait, I told you that, right? Or is this the first time you ever?
Probably. I
okay.
just,
You don't listen to me. It's okay.
I listen, but since we've been together, it's changed a few times, so I forget.
Has it really? That hasn't.
I mean, first it was sports psychology, and then you wanted to do counseling, which I guess behavior studies and counseling is kind of the same thing. So, yeah. So, I'm not saying it's changing a lot. It's like I say, oh, I'm going to be in psychology, and it's like, nah, now I want to be an astrophysicist. Like, I'm not saying it changed, like, what's it called? Majors.
Well, no, I think, honestly, is I never talked about it in depth till now.
I'm fucking with you.
Don't do that.
I was acting like I saw something and she got scared, guys.
I know. Don't do that.
Shit. Whatever. But yeah, so that's good. Want me to tell you one thing that you gotta not do?
What?
It's personal.
Maybe after the pod.
Nah, I'll tell you now.
Oh.
Gotta not be so emotional. Gotta cut your emotions off a little bit. Because you can't have some people telling you some things and, like, maybe you get emotional, maybe cry. Like, you can't. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe you can. But I don't know if, like, if you're in that situation.
That's why everybody says that psychologists or people who work in that have their own psychologist so that way they can.
Like, you can't be, like, listening to people's stories or, like, something happens or so you going, someone's telling you some things and you're, like, crying and stuff like that.
No, I think.
Or at least hold it in until they walk out. Then cry.
Yeah. No, I think the situation that happened is because, like I told you, I can relate to both of them. Like, 4 years ago, I was at a point where I was about to kill myself, to a point where I was like her, where I was like, oh crap, like, why didn't they just call me? Why didn't they just do this? Like, I've been in both situations. So for me, it was one of those parts where it triggered me because I was having like a flashback of literally of myself doing both.
Because none of those situations are gonna they're gonna come up.
Yes, but I think it's different when it's not somebody that I'm like close in age with. For me, it's like, I think we're kind of close in age. Don't quote me. I think she's like 2 years younger than me or something like that. But anyways, like, people that are closer in age to me is different than a kid or people younger than me. Especially because, like, the reason people ask me, like, why you don't want to do adults? Because, adults are effed up. And, like, I feel like adults, like, you can tell an adult, like, hey, like, do these kind of things. But it's up to them if they want to do it. Because I don't want to be in a spot where...
You're saying kids are submissive, you can just kind of make them do what you want to do?
No. They're more open to ideas. I think kids are more willing to listen to you and be like, oh, let me try it. Or, oh, let me, let's try it. Or let me see it. Like, what is it? Than adults. Because you can tell an adult, like, if I'm talking to you and you tell me, like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And then you don't do it. And then a week later, we're having another meeting and we're having the exact same conversation that we had last week.
You just told me you wouldn't shoot heroin.
I know.
What
I'm
the
like,
hell?
and I have some conversation. Like, I don't.
No, I wouldn't shoot it in my left arm. That's what I said.
I shot it on my right arm. But no, see, we're terrible. We tell jokes the wrong time.
It's fine.
But that's what I mean. Like,
People I don't do heroin. It's cool.
That's what I mean. Like, I want to be able to make a difference than sit there and write paperwork over and over again of the exact same situations. I'm like, I can't help you unless you want to help yourself. And I feel like with adults, that's what it is. Like, you can't help somebody unless they want help. And if I'm going to sit there and just see you waste your life away, I'm going to be like, why are you paying money? Like, why am I here? That's the thing. I don't want to go to a job and be like, why am I here? If all you're gonna do is say yes, 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 give me the paperwork, do this, rehab, all this stuff, and then it's like, walk out the door 2 seconds later and do this. Like, you just throw the whole paper away. Everything that we worked.
You gonna pick that up, right? No,
I know. You gonna pick that up, right? Yeah, like everything that we worked for in that session goes out the window as soon as you walk out. And at least with kids, I feel like you're.
Well, at least that's admirable, because some people just be like, "Should I get that $80 an hour? Fuck it."
No, see, like that's like the thing that's like, I think that's where I come in. Even with our business that we want to grow into, I want to not only give people quality, but I want them to know that we put in work, that we've done research, we're doing things that to make a difference. I don't want just to be like, because there are tons of people that just do it for the money. They're like, oh yeah, I'll pretend I know. I'm listening to you. Oh yeah, but I'm waiting to charge you $200 after this session. Like, I don't want that. I want to be able to like have a conversation with you, and then you walk away and be like, oh wow, like this felt different, and I want to come back, and I want to be able to better myself. I want to prove, oh, I'm doing good. Like she's actually helping, Then sitting there talking to somebody, they leave, come back, same story again, leave, come back, same story, and be like, I don't know.
So you killed another one, huh?
I'm like, like it's one of those things where I don't want to waste the time, and I don't want to waste my college years that I try to figure out to do stuff to just sit there in the office and just be like, all right, here comes Ricky. And Ricky left, and he's doing the exact same thing. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to meet, like, Bobby and be like, oh, look here, Bobby. Like, we can do this.
Ricky Bobby?
I hope you weren't catching that, but okay. I was
like, Ricky Bobby? Really?
Yeah. And here comes Bobby, and you're talking to Bobby, and Bobby walks out. The next week he says, oh, I messed up, but the one thing you told me did kind of help for this situation. Like, I want to be able to hear those kind of stories. Then hear the exact same story over and over again.
I would get into another topic, but I don't.
Come on. What is it? What?
Nah, we save it for next week.
Because you're gonna forget.
Of course. So what I do?
No. Tell me.
No, actually, I already know the answer, so I don't have to tell you.
Okay.
I do, because I asked you this recently, and you told me the answer. I was going to ask you, have you ever tried to go to therapy?
Yes.
I know.
But I went to therapy. Wow, I felt like that was really loud on the mic. My bad.
I went to therapy.
I went to therapy a few times. I went to therapy like at UC. They had like their therapist, and she was lovely, but she was just very like, you have to. You're so beautiful. You're so bright. You're so like stuff that I kind of already knew. And I wanted somebody just to be like, have a conversation with me, but then be like, nah, you really don't fucked up. And so I went to another therapist, and I've been to 2 sessions. And the first session I had with him, he was like, no, you're actually really smarter. He's like, but here's downfalls. And I respected him more. Not saying that because he's a guy and a girl, you can't do anything. But the way he came at me was different than the way she did. She was just kind of like building me up and like say, oh, you're beautiful and you're this, you're that. Where he was like, yeah, you are smart. And yes, you have a good head on your shoulder and you know exactly what you're doing. But here's where you're messing up. And until you do this part, this is not going to change.
Is it the same things that I tell you?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, babe.
Thought I was on or something.
No. And so I went with him twice. And then it was just that it was hard for me to see what he was saying until I moved out of the area I was living in. And that was 2 years ago when I went to see with my sister-in-law, and we lived downtown. It took me...
Evanston.
Huh?
It's about Evanston.
Yeah, wherever
okay.
she lives at.
Because
Oh
remember when we
yeah,
first met, you said downtown. You made it sound like downtown.
yeah. I'm sorry.
And
Like
then you were like, I
the,
live in Evanston. I was like, you moved? Like, no, I've lived there for like 5 months. I'm like, you said you live downtown.
yeah. I'm sorry. Like that's like ref for me. That's like downtown because
I get it.
yeah,
Because you were in Mason.
yeah. I lived in
When I
Mason.
first met you was like, I live downtown. And I was like, okay. And then you was like, no, I live in, I think it's called Evanston. I'm like, so you moved? Like, no, I lived there. Like, you told me you live downtown. Like, oh, for us, it's downtown. I'm like, oh, bougie. I got you.
But you still married me, so
Like, yeah, we call it downtown. Like, oh, okay.
yeah. Well, because I lived in Mason for 8.5 years, and in this area, it's very I want to say preppy, but it's definitely like people have their moments, and I was just kept being in a circle of environment of I was tearing myself down just to have people like me. And it sucked. And it wasn't until I moved with my sister-in-law and I started working at Children's where it was a whole different ballgame where people like didn't care what you looked like. They still talked to you. I was getting hit on by guys and I was just like, what is this? Like, I'm so used to seeing guys in Mason where they was just like, oh, you don't work out? Okay, we don't want you. Oh, you're fat? We don't want you. Like, even though I'm going to say I was beautiful, I just was thick. And I had love handles. I had stretch marks. But that wasn't beautiful for them. But then I moved to downtown and people were like, we don't want twigs. Like, that's not even cute. Like, we want people who are beautiful inside and out, which is what I had. I just never saw it because I was so trapped in what the image of Mason was for so long, which is why we had a lot of issues when we first started dating, was that it was hard for me to get off of that Mason image because I had it for 8.5 years. So that's why we had a lot of like tiffs and I kept saying certain things and doing this and that was because it was so hard for me to see that image, like see outside of the image of what I was drawn and was stuck in my head for 8.5 years in Mason. So yeah, I like it took me until I moved out to like being able to accept myself, even though I still struggle of how I look, and that's every girl's insecurities. And sometimes my insecurities do pop out. Sometimes they come out a lot stronger than others. My anxiety has gotten a lot better, but it's still there. And I struggle with it every once in a while when I know that if I've hit my max, I know my anxiety is about to hit. And it's hard for me to, so I'm getting like choked up. It's hard for me to like, sorry, give me a second.
It was supposed to be applause. Hold on. Yeah. The laughter lasted way longer than the applause did. Dun 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 dun.
I'm back.
Dun 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 dun.
So yeah,
Charge. Oh, I'm sorry.
Where was I at, babe? Lost my train of thought.
I don't know. Insecurity. No, anxiety.
Anxiety, yeah. So, yeah, like, I'd still get my anxiety, but not as bad as it was before. I do notice that, especially if I hit my... you keep messing with the table, it cracks me up. You're like, this gets scratched and that gets scratched off.
Stuff everywhere.
It's an old table. What do you expect?
I'm purging it of its sins.
Poor table. It's gonna be all butchered, blocked everywhere. It's gonna be like tape everywhere. Anyways, yeah, my anxiety isn't as bad as it was before. It's still there, and there's certain things that trigger it where I'm like, oh crap. But I do notice it hits a lot more when I've hit my max of I can't no longer like control it. So Yeah.
That's good. I give myself all that credit, just for the record.
Oh, hush.
I don't care what you say. Oh, I'm gonna say, I don't care what you say. I give myself that credit.
For what?
Boom. For curing you of your anxiety. No, I'm joking.
That's not messed up.
You had that gnarly disease, and I came in and.
I mean, but were you the one that caused more of it? Just kidding.
I wasn't gonna take a fist because that was your own fault. Never mind.
Dang. So what you're saying is I chose you, and you still cause more anxiety? I'm just kidding.
No, I was saying the exact opposite, actually.
What?
That you caused your anxiety, not me.
I know, but I said you're the reason that causes my anxiety.
No. I can't be the cause of your anxiety. Only you can be the cause of your anxiety.
Nah, you can cause somebody anxiety.
Nah.
Yeah, I think so.
Nah.
Yeah.
Are you carving in the table? What are you doing?
No. There's already a carve mark in here, so I'm just like.
Jeez, we're gonna go, guys, before she destroys the table.
I'm sure you've been scratching the table for the past hour.
Scratching all of this good off, not, you know.
There's already a line on there. I'm not carving anything but a line that was already on there. Look,
don't use the weeding tool for you fuck it up, and then we can't weed our vinyl.
I will buy a new one.
Or you could just not mess that one up. I mean, boom, soft.
Fine, can't have anything.
Get your wine that you ain't sipped on in about an hour. Yeah, now she's trying to take a sip. Now it's all watered down. So she's trying to be a thug and guzzle it all, but it's like half water. So don't believe the hype, guys.
I did it. There you go. Challenge me.
Boom goes the dynamite. Looks like to throw up.
I am really gonna throw up.
Anyway, guys, this has been the So Mixed Up podcast. We're gonna title this one Margarita Speaks. I like it. You like it?
Yeah.
She likes it, guys. She likes it. All right, guys. Yeah.
Next time he'll speak and say some stuff about him.
Nah, I doubt it.
I know you never do.
Nothing about me. What am I supposed to speak about? Told about my ex last week. I ain't got nothing else to talk about.
We didn't get fully into details of your ex.
You didn't ask?
See,
Blow.
I hate when you do that.
Blow. I always say I answer whatever I'm asked. And it should be like, well, you never talk. I'm like, did you ask me? Well, no, but.
Like,
all
I
right.
feel like if I'm already like open up, like I feel like I shouldn't have to ask you a question. Like, just join into what I'm saying.
No, until I'm asked something. She just had this like, well, I just expected you to da 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 da. I'm like, no, I wasn't asked. So you don't voluntarily open up until I ask you.
No, if we're having a conversation, I'll bring something up.
Exactly, when I ask.
No, like if we're having a conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, and this, and then I'll say something else, this and this and this. Like I have to be like.
I don't have anything though. That's the difference. I can't just make things up. If there's nothing troubling me, there's nothing. I don't have really any emotional baggage or anything. Like there's just nothing to talk about. All of my baggage is out there. I had a shitty ex, and that was it. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. But like I said, if you ask me something specific, then I can be like, delve into my brain and be like, oh yeah, da 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 da. But it's just nothing that's like just on my surface of my head. Told you, I only keep positive thoughts in my head. So it's like, unless something is asked of me, I just don't have those things in my head to think about, to talk about. So unless like, yeah, so I've always been telling you since we've been dating, like if you ask me a specific question, I will answer it 100% honest and to the fullest. But it's just not things that be in my head. Like I'm not, trying not to be open or whatever, but it's like, I just don't be thinking about them things. Like, they don't be in my head. Once I'm done with the situation, I'm pretty much done with the situation. You know me, I don't really carry things with me. Like, once I'm over some shit, I'm over some shit. Like, I don't really care. Like, when I was done with my ex, I told her to leave that day. ain't said a single word to her ever since that day. Like it ain't no. Once I'm done with something, I'm done with something. So it's never like no. Well, I changed my number, and that was it. Like ain't said a word to her, ain't asked about her. Like I don't give a shit. So yeah, once I'm done with something, I'm done with something. Like if we have a tiff, once we solve it, cool, I'm over it. Or once some shit happens at work or whatever, like yeah, I might be mad for a couple seconds and then boom, I'm over it. Like I don't drag emo- negative emotions with me. Like once they're gone, they're gone. Like I don't hold on to them. I don't bring them with me. Like boom, it's on to the next thing. Some shit happens, I'm like, damn, that sucks. But all right, on to the next thing. Like I don't know. You know that about me though. That's why you love me. I think. No. What you don't like that about me?
No, it just.
What?
I mean, no, I don't have anything.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Once like I'm really on to the next type of person. Like once some things happen, bad or not, like trust me. I mean, granted things have been cool for a while right now, but shit, when she first met me, I was in point in my life where it's like shit, every couple weeks some bullshit had happened, like, blow a tire on the highway or uh get pulled over or, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Like shit used to happen to me all the time, but like I can't like if you get stuck in negative emotion, like you're not progressing, you're not moving on. If you carry it with you, you're still in some ways trapped in the past and trapped in those situations. If you move on, you move on. So that's why I just choose to move on. Like some stuff happens, boom, I solve it. Like I don't know. I don't let things bring me down. Like once some things happen, I solve it and or I'm automatically thinking like, all right, how do I fix this? Boom, boom, boom. Put the plan into action, fix it. All right, I'm on to the next thing. I don't like to sit in it. Like, yeah, I'm always on to the next thing or always back to the positive. Like I'm like, oh, well that sucked. Let's move on. Like there's no point of dwelling on something negative. It's like nothing's gonna change. Like when things happen, you can't change what happened. It already happened. So you gotta move on. Like you told the old girl, hey, he broke up with you. Get over it. So it's like, hey, you got pulled over. Get over it. Hey, you blew a tire. Get over it. Hey, you got your bank account robbed and now you can't access your, your money for 2 weeks. Oh, well, you get over it. It's like, whatever. It's like, oh, I fucked up. Some shit happened. All right, get over it. Move on. Like, yeah, I don't sit and dwell on things for too long. Once they happen, I'm like, all right, how do I fix this? How do I move on from this? Like, yeah, I don't sit with anything for more than maybe a couple hours, like tops. Like, all right, that pissed me off. I was mad. All right, I'm over it. Like, I don't know. I don't even like to feel bad for too long. If I'm too upset, I don't even like the way it feels. I'm like, all right, get over it, Joshua. Like it don't feel good to me at all. Like whether it's sad, mad, whatever, angry, like whatever the negative emotion is. Like I don't like the way it feels. Like if I feel like it's building or I feel like I've been sitting in that for too long, I'm just like, hey, get over it. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Booyah. See, I'll talk about me. All right, y'all. I think that's it. We don't actually have anything on our whiteboard, but still managed to talk for an hour and 15 minutes. So, oh, the Reds are back. Hey, we lost today though, but it's okay. But we won yesterday, 7-1, I think it was. So that was dope. Today we lost. Gave up a couple rounds and too late in the game. Wish I can go to a game, but it's okay. I digress. I got my refund. It's cool. What else? What else? What other little tidbits? Um, I think that's it. Nothing small is happening. No little tiny tidbits to get to. All right. What say you?
Bye.
That works. What say you is kind of like, what about you? Or how about
I don't know what that means.
what say you? Bye.
Bye.
Like rude. I'm like, oh, I thought I was being nice. I was giving a sign off. But yes, guys, this has been so mixed up. And
We out.
there we go. There we go. Deuces, y'all. It's been good. Catch you guys next week. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. I know it's Monday. Hopefully the week is good to you, kind to you.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, wash your
Nasties.
ass. Keep the corona down. Stay in the house. Wear your mask wherever you go. Fuck you rebels that try not to wear your mask. You're dumb. Because you picked the wrong fucking shit to be mad and angry about. But whatever. Yes, this is the last week of the month. Crazy. About to be in August this weekend coming up. That's nuts.
Back to school.
Back to school in a month, baby.
Back to reality.
Yep, that is your reality.
Back to school.
But
I
think about it.
really hate school now.
4 months, 5 months, and it's over. And then you graduate, you make some babies. Make babies. Come on.
What was I saying?
Make babies. It's okay.
It's not. It's make money.
I know, but I was saying make babies. Get it? I'm cool with it. Oh my God.
Oh.
Anyway, guys.
I promise you, I'm not drunk.
Whatever. So 5 more months and then you're done with school, babe. Then you can pick whatever job you want. Nothing's holding you back. That's when I'm going to reevaluate my life, see what's going on. If I'm still doing what I'm doing, which is the plan for now. But like I said, something better comes up. Blah, I'm out. But yeah, then we're going to, see what's going on in life at that point. So yeah, good pod. A lot of good info. A lot of deepness. We're going deep, balls deep on this one. Whatever. I like to make funnies, but she doesn't like my funnies. Whatever. It's okay.
I allow you to have your funnies.
Damn it.
And you talking about I don't know the colors. Come on now.
So yeah, guys. Good pod. Good info. Getting deep on you guys. That's what we try to do, but sometimes it just don't be nothing to get deep about. You know what I mean? But that was a good one. We kind of stumbled into it. We stumbled into all our pods, honestly. But it's wet, cold and wet. But yeah, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
We out.